Hi there everybody, it's Trudy here, One Grounded Angel. This is the weekly angel card reading video for the week beginning Monday, June the 3rd to the 9th, 2019. Let's start shuffling the cards and see what's going to come up this week. Halfway through the year, craziness. I feel like every week is going by faster and faster. Okay, innocence. So this is an interesting one because you probably go immediately to thoughts of justice and legal system, and perhaps it does relate to that for you, but I think more likely, it's going to relate to your relationships with others in terms of where you're placing blame, the blame game. We love it. If we can blame someone else for our problems, we don't have to own our part in them. And particularly in a romantic relationship, any problems are really never entirely one person's fault. So this asks you to stop throwing around blame and shifting responsibility onto other people and take responsibility for your own actions. I know that's not easy to hear. Nobody wants to hear that. Oops, sorry, my phone just beeped in the background. And also it's about recognizing that other people may not be innocent entirely. That's probably a little bit extreme, but if you can try and understand that even though their behavior was bad, perhaps their intentions were good. Not that makes it okay, but that it all comes back to me for that Louise Hay quote. Everybody is doing the best they can in any given situation with the information and understanding that they have. So basically we all screw up, and that doesn't make it okay, but it does mean that you need to try not to be too hard on people. You can absolutely choose not to have people in your lives. That's absolutely understandable, especially if they're very toxic, but it's about forgiveness essentially. Not forgiving the act necessarily, but making peace with what happened and not condoning bad behavior, but just reaching a place of saying, this person is a human being. What they did wasn't great, but I'm not going to demonize them for that because that hurts me. So let's go to Tuesday. Shuffling. This could not have been the most perfect follow-up act. This could not have been a more perfect follow-up act. Kuan Yin here with compassion. So a very powerful Eastern goddess here. A lot of people have a really special connection with Kuan Yin. Sometimes spelt with a Q, by the way. Doesn't really matter though. And I'm going to read this to you because it is so perfect. Release judgments about yourself and others, and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. So basically what I was trying to say before with Monday's card, but didn't express it quite as well as this. So yeah, again, it's coming back to where we're attached to judgments. Sometimes we judge people to make ourselves feel superior in a way, like, oh, I would never do that. And then we feel like we're the better person. And in spiritual truth, there really isn't a competition when we're comparing ourselves to other people or trying to put them down to make ourselves look better. That's an unwinnable fight. Like, no one's better than anyone else. So try not to put people on pedestals, try not to demonize them. You don't have to be in favor of the way they behave or their choices, but just try not to vilify them entirely and think that you're superior, because that's not what you would do. We're all doing the best we can out here. Wednesday. Life purpose, totally changing tone now. This card in a personal reading, when it's coming up for someone, it's usually encouraging them to that the path that they're on is aligning with their life purpose. People get really stressed out about this idea of life purpose. They feel like it's some challenge that or some box they have to tick. I have to know my life purpose. And people will actually ask me that in personal readings sometimes. What is my life purpose? And I just can't tell them that, which I know is a bit disappointing. It's something that can only be divine between you and the universe. It's not, even though I am a medium who transmits messages, I can't. When I say medium, I don't mean in the people from the other side sense. I mean just in the fact that I'm in the middle. I can't give you something like that because it's something your soul needs to learn and develop, and you need to try a lot of different things and fail at them before you figure it out. So it'd be, if I told you what your life purpose was, it would be like skipping to the last page of the book without reading all the chapters to get there, and it wouldn't resonate for you until you've gone along that journey to get there. So this card could be telling you that you're on the right track towards your life purpose, and for some of you, this card is really, the word purpose is super strong. One of the best ways to keep yourself mentally healthy is to have a sense of purpose in your life. If you're feeling like your life doesn't really have a purpose, you're going to be at odds with the people around you. You're going to probably dislike your job. You're probably going to get yourself into a bit of a rut in terms of eating the same foods, going to the same places, not challenging yourself, because your life is really pulling away from having a sense of meaning. And this is one of the best ways that you can really align yourself with feeling like you belong here and like you're on the right path, is to do something that gives you a sense of purpose. It might be something within parenting. It might be some volunteer work that you do. It might be a project, a passion project that you're working on. It might be a side hustle like me with what I'm doing here that gives your life a sense of purpose. It's really important because it's not just about the way you give back, it's also about the way you connect with other people. And even if your life purpose, you feel like it's something you just do on your own away from other people, in some ways you are serving as a role model. You're giving back by being a role model and encouraging other people to pursue their life purpose too. And that's hard if you're a woman, because women are conditioned to think that their lives are, they're here to basically sacrifice themselves to other people, and that's why some people really struggle to give self-care to themselves, because they're convinced that that's selfish, because they're supposed to be looking after their entire family and all the people around them, and that's just, yeah, that's not a good path to, or not a good kind of mindset to have. There's nothing selfish about pursuing your life purpose. In fact, it's one of the most selfless things you can do, because it's serving what you're here to do, and it is helping change the script for people everywhere. Thursday, this angel is Yvonne, who's come up, and it's about a connection with animals. So sometimes this comes up for people who have lost a pet and they want to know that their pet is okay on the other side. The answer is yes, absolutely. And sometimes it just comes up to encourage people to spend more time with animals, and really be present. Don't just, pat a dog mindlessly. Actually engage with it. That helps you, helps lower your stress levels. It helps you feel more centered and calm, and it's an exchange of love as well. It's a beautiful connection that we can have with animals, because they do have unconditional love, and that's something that we can really learn from. Not that I'm saying all love should be unconditional, but I'm just saying that it's that lack of judgment they have as well. Got a bit of a theme here, this idea of judgment this week. And for some of you, if you've been considering working with animals or doing volunteer work with animals or something like that, getting involved with helping, perhaps you've got an elderly relative who's struggling to care for their animal, whatever it is, this can serve as your sign that that's the right thing to do for you. So you'll know if that's applying to you or not. Friday's card, vacuum away fear. One of my kind of issues with this card, although I love the premise of it, is it kind of indicates that you can just get rid of fear really easy. Just vacuum it away. It doesn't really work like that, and I'm sure you guys know. If you believe the internet, getting past fear would be as simple as saying, I can do this, and then you'll be okay. And my own experience and what I've seen in my clients, believing you can do something is important, absolutely, but it's not always enough. So you really need to look at what's causing your fear, what's underneath it, and this might be something that you do in an energy healing setting, which obviously I'm a big advocate for, because it's been so hugely powerful in me doing the work I'm doing and getting as far as I have in my personal life. I wouldn't have been able to transform at this level without having done energy healing work. But it is asking you to really look at what's going on with your fear, and to be mindful of the ways it's showing up for you. If you're procrastinating, that's not laziness, it's fear. You're trying to avoid something. What is it? Are you afraid of failure? Or are you afraid of success and what that might mean for you? That can be really scary, because it might take you into a whole new realm where your relationships become different, or you are seen, that you're more exposed to the world in some way. if you are, what other ways does fear show up? There are a lot. You're playing small at work, and maybe you're telling yourself, oh no, I'm not really interested, I'm not ambitious, I'm not really interested in climbing a ladder. And that's a perfectly valid kind of statement to have, or a position to have. But maybe just looking at where you might be playing small to keep yourself safe and whether that's actually right for you. Sometimes we talk ourselves out of something because we are afraid of failure, or we're afraid of success. It's a real thing. Or we might be just afraid of something that goes along with that, in terms of the impact on the way other people see us, or just the fact that it takes us out of our comfort zone and suddenly we have to be someone different, and that can be pretty triggering for a lot of us. Let's go to Saturday now, the 8th of June. Ideas and inspiration. This is kind of like a lightning bolt sort of card telling you to listen to your intuition. You're going to get a whole flood of ideas, or maybe just one, I don't know, it depends on your situation, that's going to help you. And be aware of how fear might sabotage that. I'm wary about using the word sabotage because I think it implies that you're doing something deliberately. Sabotage does sound intentional, and often it's not. So when I say sabotage, I mean the ways that we might be blocking ourselves or getting in our own way, if you want to think of it like that. So you might have an idea and you think, oh, I can't do that, I'm too old, or people like me can't do things like that, or whatever it is, whatever the story is. Be mindful of that. Don't disregard the idea. Now, if you've had an idea and you're not 100% sure whether it's right for you, ask your angels to give you a sign that that is the right thing for you to be doing, and ask for a sign that you can easily understand. Tons of information about angel signs on the internet and on my website. So I won't go into that here because everybody who's been following me for a long time is so sick of hearing it, I'm quite sure. But honestly, it's one of the best things you can do. And even I forget to ask for a sign sometimes. I'm like, I think I'm being guided to do this, but I'm just not sure. And the obvious thing to do, if I took my own advice, would be to ask for a sign, but sometimes I just forget to do it. So we're all human. Yeah, so that might be a good thing to kind of keep in mind. And if you feel like you're stuck, things aren't going well for you, maybe you need to open up to new ideas or new approaches. We've had a lot of messages in recent weeks around fresh air, opening our minds, broadening our perspectives, and that's all connected here. So opening up to what might be a better way. Sometimes when we ask the universe for something, we're convinced that our way is the best way for that to happen. For example, I want to get this job so that I can, I don't know, whatever it is you're looking for, I can have a better life balance. And maybe actually that job wouldn't give you a better life balance. And so maybe the universe gives you another opportunity, but you disregard it because you're fixated on this thing over here. So yeah, just be open to the way the universe can provide you with solutions that maybe don't fit in the ideas that you had for yourself. So yeah, hopefully that total ramble made some sense to some of you. Sunday, outdoors. So I mentioned just before the fresh air card, which we had last Thursday, in fact. And when it came up last Thursday, it was tied in with the message about go for it. So they were very much about expansion and pushing ourselves forward, motivation, planet Mars kind of energy. And so that fresh air card also has the message around literally getting some fresh air. Now, it's freaking cold in this part of the world right now. Well, I'm pretty pathetic, really. I feel the cold easily. It's not really super cold if you happen to live in a snowy region, so I can't really complain. But the idea of going outside doesn't feel super inviting right now. But we need to get past that and actually do it, because it's in nature that we do get more ideas. In fact, the card literally says, go outside, get some fresh air, connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. So you can see the relationship here. This is Archangel Jophiel, who's the angel of beauty, sort of a planet Venus kind of energy there. And you can ask Jophiel to beautify your life, beautify your thoughts if you're struggling with really negative kind of limiting thoughts. And again, it's not quite as simple as that. It's not going to it's not going to completely transform, but it's an important step to help. You're the one in charge of your life. The universe isn't just going to give you things on a plate, but we ask for the universe support to get us in the right direction and to help us identify where we need to let things go, and certainly where we're getting stuck. So yeah, I feel like that's actually one of the reasons because I started off doing angel card readings and then I got into energy healing later on. I just felt like the angel cards, as much as I love them and I do use them in my own life, sometimes they do get a little bit limiting. They do imply things are as simple as just asking the angels for help. But what I've discovered is that the universe wants you to help yourself. And that's how you get results. If you're just sitting around asking the angels to bring you your soulmate, which I did for a long time, didn't work. It was only when I started working on myself and clearing the blocks I had towards relationships, clearing away where I was attached to old kind of connections, all that sort of thing, letting go of the cord between me and various societal ideas about what I should and shouldn't be doing as a woman, that sort of stuff. All of that contributed. And yeah, I think I was getting really disappointed because it wasn't happening easily, but most things that we are working towards are not going to come through easily, and that just makes them more appealing, I think, more worth having. So just to refer back to that outdoors card, getting outside and around nature, it is hugely helpful. It really changes the energy around you, particularly if you're in a workplace where you're dealing with toxic people or whingers or whatever's going on. Getting outside and walking around the park will be super helpful for you. And obviously you've still got the choice. You still choose whether you buy into those ideas or not. Yeah. Particularly being near the beach, for those of us who are lucky to live near the ocean, the salt spray is really cleansing for our energy, and that's why one of the best ways to clear your energy is also bathing in Epsom salts or magnesium salts. I forget how they're branded, and maybe it depends where you live. But yeah, that salt is really cleansing, although obviously I don't advise eating it, a lot of it, because it's not very good for your health, your physical health internally. But as for your energy on the exterior, absolutely. So what we have is a big theme around judgment, which is, yeah, it's a big word, big ideas, and it's something that we think everybody else is doing and we're not, which is a judgment in itself, ironically. And I also think opening up and expanding, a bit like last week, have come through again and being aware of how we might be keeping ourselves in that safe zone. Now, you don't have to live your life on the edge at all. I'm not saying the safe zone is a bad place to be. It's a great place to be, but you can't stay there forever. It's like that quote, a ship in the harbour is safe, but that's not what ships were built to do. Maybe not express that the way it was supposed to, but hopefully you get the essence of it, okay? So we need to be challenging ourselves, otherwise we don't grow. Yeah, and just opening up to new ideas as well towards the end of the week. But actually, anytime really is good for that, particularly since that kind of came through last week as well. That's it. Thank you for watching. Every card goes on my social media every day. If I know of articles that can support the messages, I'll put them up on my Facebook page. My Facebook page is One Grounded Angel, but you don't have to be on Facebook to see it. You can just go facebook.com/onegroundedangel, and you should be able to see it. It's an open page. It's certainly not any kind of locked members only situation. And of course my Instagram is at One Grounded Angel. If you want to reach me personally, you can do so via my website. Please don't DM me. I don't check them very often because I get a lot of really inappropriate messages, let's put it like that.